Disney classics, original shows, documentaries, and more. There's a new streaming service in town.
We're Andrea and Patty, and we are now streaming Disney+.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Andrea with Theme Park Parents, and you can find me at themeparkparents.com or at Andrea Updike or Theme Park Parents on all social.
Hey y'all, this is Patty from No-Guilt Fangirl.com and the No-Guilt Fangirls Podcast. You can find me on all socials at No Guilt Life. And no, I'm not going to change that.
And you shouldn't.
I just feel like there's a whole bunch of no guilt out there under my control, and so I felt like No Guilt Life encompasses everything. It's the fangirl, it's the Disneyness, it's the general momism, so it's staying. But every time I say that, I'm laughing at myself going, No Guilt Fangirl, No Guilt Fangirl, and No Guilt Life.
Hey, you know what though? I use my proper name on all my socials, and I added Theme Park Parents just to give myself a place to really geek out over theme parks, but the majority of it is on my name, and I'm okay with that. It's what I've had for years, and it works.
Yeah, no, it does work. And if Patty Holiday was available, or even somebody has some Twitter, I'm guessing it's a Twitter employee because they've had it forever because I've been stalking you, at Patty. And I wanted at Patty for so long, but they don't tweet on it. They don't use it. And Twitter won't give it to me. But anyway.
Isn't that sad? I know those early short ones are hard to come by for sure.
Yep. And this has everything to do with The Mandalorian.
I know, right? So that's what we're talking about this week. We are deep diving into The Mandalorian, and we even gave you an extra week to make sure you've seen both episodes because they're so good.
Yeah, okay, so if you've been following along the podcast, thank you. And if you're new here, hi, welcome.
Hi.
We've actually been talking about Disney Plus for a couple of months now, and now that we're getting the shows, we went ahead and watched a lot of the first episodes of the new series and the new movies that were all coming out on launch day. So if you haven't had a chance, or if you're curious what our reviews are on those, go back, take a listen to any of those episodes. They were a lot of fun. We had some really good discussions. We didn't always agree on everything. So that's always fun. And I'm beginning to wonder if we're not going to necessarily agree on this one, Andrea.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, let's dive in. So first of all, so far, as you guys know, and some people love it, some people hate it, some people don't know what to do with themselves, but Disney Plus is only releasing one episode a week of the new shows. Now, last week, because it was brand new, we got 2 episodes, one on, I think, Tuesday, one on Friday, and now we've been in this long, drawn-out stretch of painful waiting as we wait for Friday to get another episode of The Mandalorian. So I wanted to ask you, Patty, how do you feel about that schedule so far, now that you're actually doing it?
Well, Andrea, I'm still on the fence. Here's the reason why. I'm still mad because I still want to binge. I still want to just sit down and binge everything, but also knowing me and seeing the actual numbers of the content, the new content that they were able to put out, if I had sat down and pulled a Patty, which is what I would have done, and I would have binged all of these shows, dude, I'd be Disney Plused out by now. I would have
absolutely.
I would have gone through everything. So
absolutely. And I was thinking the same thing because I wrote in my email newsletter yesterday, like, I am overdosing on all these amazing shows because they're so good. And so at first, and especially after the second episode of The Mandalorian, I was like, I can't live like this. This is horrible. Why are they doing this to us? But then, I had life happening, and I had to go out and do things, and I had work to do.
You had to leave the house? What?
I have to function. So it's probably good that someone else is limiting me, because I know that I would not be able to control myself. I would have to sit there and watch it.
Disney Plus, our benevolent overlords are
taking care of us. I know, aren't they just... They're thinking of us at every move. I know.
Let's be honest. They're not thinking of us. They're thinking of themselves, because I also figured this out. Because they only had, I think it was a total of like 9 maybe or 10 new things, to release. Somebody like me who's in it for all the new stuff. I mean, I like the old classic stuff, but I haven't touched any of it. I haven't clicked on a single thing yet. I'm still loving all of the new stuff. If I had already watched all of this stuff so quickly and kind of been like, where's the next new thing? And they're not announcing it, or they're not able to release another new thing because it's still in production and they're still working on this awesomeness for, I don't know if we're getting more like in the spring. I haven't paid enough attention to know when the next new set of releases are coming out. And so if I was that person, I could see certain types have signed up just for the free trial. Binged through
Watch
everything
in a week,
and then closed, and Disney would have been like, whoa, wait, where's my $7 a month, right? So they're super smart that they did this for that reason. And I also agree with you that it has been nice to be able to carry on with my life and to just know that Fridays Fridays are when I'm going to sit down and binge everything all day long. But the rest of the week, I can be a productive member of society. So, all right, Disney, I get you. And I'm not mad anymore. I understand. And I'll tell you what, understanding goes a long way with me. When I don't understand why like choices are being made, when it's Disney or anybody, to be honest, I am the 3-year-old. I'm always asking, but why? But why? Just tell me why. Because I can understand your reasoning. I just need to know what it is because I'm nosy like that.
I need to know why. I'm right there with you. If it doesn't make sense, I cannot function. I have to force it. I have to sit there and move the puzzle pieces around until I can somehow, even if it's a stretch, fit them together. I'm like, okay, it must be this. This must be the real reason.
This must be. It's like from the that picture, that meme that's out there from, I think it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, with all the lines and the strings and the you're like mapping out, like I have to figure this out. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
So I love it when things start clicking and making sense, and I'm like, this, and I'm sure Disney Plus, if they're listening to this, which, hi guys, they're laughing because they're like, they're so wrong. No, there's like 15 other reasons why we're doing it this way.
I know. Let us have this, okay? Give us this one thing. You're not giving us our episodes, so we need something.
Or let us know what the real reasons are, and we'll keep it quiet. We won't tell people we're cool.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We'll take the inside scoop.
I'm just kidding. All right. Mandalorian. So back to Mandalorian. So yes, that being said, I am on the fence. I'm becoming more understanding and appreciative as to why they're doling these things out slowly to us, and I can deal with that. This show in particular was pretty much when I signed up that late night and stayed up to see if I could get Disney Plus in the moment that I could get it, which I did. Everybody was talking about Mandalorian. Every single person on my timeline, on Twitter, everywhere, it was Mandalorian. So to say that this show was wanted, needed, hyped, would be an understatement. This was definitely the show everybody wanted to talk about. So what is The Mandalorian? What's the story behind it? How would you sum it up?
Okay, so The Mandalorian is a bounty hunter. And this show takes place after Return of the Jedi, but before The Force Awakens, about 23 years before The Force Awakens, to put it in the timeline.
Yeah, and about 5 years after Jedi.
Yes, and it is entirely new characters that exist nowhere else in the Star Wars universe, as far as I can tell. Jon Favreau is behind it, who, I mean, to me, he can do no wrong. Everything he puts out is just, I love it. And I know you don't love The Lion King, but even I loved The Lion King. I loved it. So to me, that was a win, just knowing that he was behind it. And it's been a really interesting, it's not what I expected, but I am loving it because of how slow it is. And I know that sounds odd, because especially when we just talked about, wanting all these shows. Well, in the case of The Mandalorian, I really love that they're drawing it out. Like, at first, I was like, what? No, I have to know more. But then it was like, oh, I have to sit here and think about this now for a whole week, or I have to sit here and wonder what's happening. And even the pacing of the episodes are very slow. I won't say slow. That's not really the word I'm trying to find. It's just detailed, and the pacing is almost real time. I mean, it's a little bit more than that, but it's almost like this is how long it would really take to complete that task, and I'm watching it live, But I don't know. I'm really liking it so far.
Okay, well, for me, I like it enough. There's absolutely nothing that I can sit here and go, ugh, Like, why are they doing that? You know, it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
it's not that level of whatever, but it is the level of whatever in the sense that it's literally okay, whatever. Like, I'm not.
Okay.
I am not obsessed. I am not pulled in. I am not compelled on any major level other than, yeah, of course, the baby. Okay, wait, we're going to say some spoilers here, people. So I'm going to give you a minute before I start saying any spoilers, just in case you need to click off, because Star Wars people do not like spoilers unless you're me, because I like them.
Right.
All right, is that enough?
This is spoiler territory. From now on,
did I give them enough time to jump off?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So, Baby Yoda. I mean, I have a heart. Baby Yoda is the cutest, most adorable thing next to Baby Groot, and I'm standing by that. I'm sorry, but Groot is cuter. Baby Yoda is adorable and amazing, and I did go, oh, you know, when I saw that. So yes, I do want to know more about the species. I want to know more about who is that character. But until that point, I just had some dude in a mask who hardly says anything and who gives me no emotion. And the only thing I know about him is a little bit through some flashbacks. That was the only thing that was moving the interest meter, not the interest meter, because it's not interest. It's connection, like personal connection. That was the only, those flashbacks were the only thing that made me go, oh, to this dude, because, you know, part of the problem, part of the challenge, I think, to playing this character is that he's fully armored up, and they say that he doesn't take his mask off. So I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'm assuming that somewhere along the lines we are actually going to have him remove his mask for some big, you know, moment. But as of the first 2 episodes, we haven't seen that yet. So that's where I have this. I like it. I'm Star Wars nerdy enough that I think this is a really cool story. It's a cool fit. I like the timing that they've placed this in. I think that's a lot of fun. I'm kind of obsessed with this whole spaghetti western feel, like this space western, this very, like you said, it's you said slow, and that's true. It is slow, but that feels like the pacing is in line with, you know, what you get from those old spaghetti western type movies. So I'm down with that. I absolutely live for the very end where the credits come in and they have the artwork.
Yeah, I do love that.
Those posters are amazing. I mean, I don't have like a Star Wars room, but if I did, I would just want every single one of them lining my walls, because
I know
those are compelling. Those are grabbing me. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
But that the character himself hasn't quite done that for me yet. And even when we were watching this one and when he met Yoda, Baby Yoda, I know it's not Yoda. Y'all, we know it's not Yoda. Also, let's just clarify that. It's not Yoda. Yoda is dead. This is Yoda's species, but for lack of a better term, everybody's just calling him Baby Yoda. So when he met him, I also wanted to be like, feel something, dang it.
Oh, see, okay. So now I have to jump in because I love that we're not knowing the character yet. And like for me, that is the whole series. He doesn't even have a name. He is the Mandalorian. And there, as we know, is not just one Mandalorian. Like they're this whole class of people, and they're known by their, you know, they never take off their helmets, like you said. And there's, you know, a whole history of these people that we don't know about. So for me, coming into the story, being sort of dropped into his mission, knowing it was taking place after the fall of the Empire, and I just felt like this was, you know, in this fantasy world, like this was life. Like nobody knew anything about anyone, and I almost felt like I was more in the story because I knew nothing. I was just like anyone else in that bar, looking at this guy in a mask and not knowing a single thing about him, why he does what he does. And we did get some of those flashbacks, which to me translated to that end scene when they kind of did the E.T. touch fingers thing. Like in my mind, I felt like that was enough of a connection to know, okay, he spared the life. He could have taken the life either way because, you know, he would have, they said either way was fine as long as there was proof, right? So he could have killed this little baby. He chose not to for whatever reason. And to me, that was enough of a connection to make it work. I'm loving sort of being blind and not really knowing anything, not knowing who you can trust. I also know, I think it was you that said in a previous show that the very last episode will not take place until after the final Star Wars movie. And, there may or may not be a tie-in. That is not promised to us, but I would be surprised if there wasn't. And I'm just waiting to see how some of these concepts come up in the movie. If they come up in the movie, if it ties together, I would not be surprised one bit if they do. And I am here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely all in. I'm watching every episode, and like I said, there's nothing. I'm not faulting Filoni. I'm not faulting Favreau. There's nothing that I can specifically say that I dislike or that I'm unhappy with, but I just haven't had that immediate connection of I need more.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's going to come, and I will be singing a different tune the next time we talk about The Mandalorian, because it's also only been 2 episodes, and I think they are slowly doling this out to make that deliciousness wait, to make all of us, who are really passionate Star Wars people, they're not just going to give it all to you, right?
Exactly. And you got to build the story when you're starting with brand new characters. You can't just throw everything at people, because then there will be too many questions, too many holes. You know how Star Wars fans are, and I put myself in that category loosely, but everybody's trying to connect the dots and make sure it makes sense, make sure it fits in to canon, make sure it's going to connect with all the other stories that have already been out there. And so I think it's smart of them to sort of draw it out like this. I want to know all the answers. I would like them right now, please. But I'm willing to wait if I must.
Patience you must have.
I know. I must have. But, okay, and one more thing, and I just have to say, this Yoda species, this baby is so cute, and I'm going to disagree with you. I think he's cuter than Baby Groot. I said it.
That's it. We're done. We're broken up. We're broken up. We're over, Andrea. We're over.
Here's why. Because he just like Groot. I mean, they're very similar, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're both babies, but they have a wisdom and a knowledge that's beyond what a real baby would have, right? Groot can fight, he can see. But to me, Groot seems a little bit more childlike. Yoda seems, or, this little baby Yoda creature seems to know what's going on, and he knows that he can do stuff, and he wants to help. He can see when to help, and I'm like, all right, what's going on with this? Because why does he know that? And obviously it's the Force, but I just feel like there's going to be a good story there, and he's just so cute. I want that baby. I want that baby.
Oh, he's adorable. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying Groot is way cuter. And that's it. That's the show. I'm going to end on that highlight. No, I'm just kidding. But but for real, I do want to point this out too. This has been this has been part of a discussion that we've had in our Facebook group, which if you want to come join us, it's the Now Streaming Disney Plus podcast Facebook group. You can find us over there. And one of the things that when I went to watch the second episode, I pulled it up and I'm like, all right, last one was like 40 something minutes. This one's got to be an hour, right? Wrong. Like, it was only 28 minutes of actual story. And womp womp,
I know. I really want at least like a good solid 30 minutes. Like
I'm on the fence again with listen to us. We so over dissect these things, but I'm on the fence as to why they're doing this. Part of me is like, tell whatever story needs to be told in the amount of time that needs to be told. And so therefore, for this episode of The Child, they needed 28 minutes, and that's what they took, and that's what they did. The next one may be a 90-minute episode. I doubt it. But I'm just saying that, it could be a much longer episode because that section of the story just needed a little bit longer to tell. So I appreciate not that I'm a movie maker, a filmmaker, but I appreciate from the filmmaker perspective that it feels like Disney and Disney Plus and Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they're allowing that creative license of tell what part of the story needs to be told in each section as needed. They're not telling them.
And you can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that on a streaming service. As opposed to
they're not telling them you need to fill an hour slot or, we need enough time to add in 3 commercials, so it has to be XYZ like the time. So I appreciate it from that. And I do understand, that perspective. But as a consumer,
yeah, I want more stories.
I want more.
It's just so good.
Because it is. I mean, it's going to be so much fun to see where this goes and how this plays out. And I do believe they've already gotten their second season greenlit. So
oh, good.
Yeah.
And one other thing I wanted to talk about, we haven't really dissected the episode itself, which is fine. But were you surprised at the amount of violence in the show? Because I don't mind it, but I was a little surprised that it was as violent as it is.
I don't think so. I think when I was expecting Star Wars, it's on the level of what I expected from a Star Wars film. I mean, for example, when the Mandalorian is shooting the Jawas,
yeah,
they just disappear, right? So it's not like we get blood and guts and nastiness or anything like that. It's very kind of holding true to what at least has been my experience in the Star Wars. We don't really see blood and stuff, when people die.
Definitely not gory. I think the first episode was just a little bit more telling because, you get that guy at the very beginning, he gets chopped in half by that door, and then, the end, there's sort of the shoot 'em up spree with the droid, who, did you know, is voiced by
Taika.
I love that. I looked that up. I was like, who is this voice? It has to be somebody good. And I was a little bit sad that he only made it the one episode.
I have thoughts on that. I am curious to see if since he was a droid, if the droid comes back in some way, shape, or form.
Now that would be interesting.
Like if they can, I don't know, take his chip out and put it physically into another droid, and he'll be like, "Oh yes, I'm the same. I'm the same guy that you shot before. You're not going to shoot me again." Boom, he gets shot again. I don't know, but
that would be fun.
It feels like Taika he was at D23 Expo, and so he was pumped and he was hyped as a big character. Now, I don't know if they were just, it's Taika, so of course you're going to use a big name like that who was,
sure,
and so maybe that was, and it might only be this one season, it might only be this one episode, but that was a thought I had when he went down. I thought, that's a waste, and then I considered maybe it's not. Maybe that will be, I don't know, a running joke through the whole thing.
Maybe he'll contribute to other characters.
That's true. That's true.
He's not showing his face, so he could, reasonably voice anyone they wanted to.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm loving it. My kids are watching it. We're just excited to have something new. To me, it's just a little bit grittier. I love it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just grittier than I was expecting, which is nice. It doesn't seem to have that yet, that sort of campy Star Wars thing that some of the other movies have fallen prey to, and I'm not complaining.
All right, well, The Mandalorian, we get new episodes every Friday, and I believe, I didn't stay up for this, but I'm pretty sure I saw that they come out at midnight Pacific time. So us East Coasters, if you want to be one of the first people to watch it, you got to get up at 3 a.m. or stay up until 3 a.m. to watch it. But it will be waiting for you when you wake up at a reasonable time on Friday and stream away. Definitely come join us in the Facebook group if you have thoughts on this, if you want to have discussions, if you want to tell Andrea she's totally wrong about everything, because that's a lot of fun. I do that all the time with her.
You do, but I would also encourage you to come and tell Patty that she is wrong once in a while as well. Because
keep me humble.
Ain't no way Groot is cuter than that baby.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for this episode. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
I think that's it for now. I'm sure we will come back to The Mandalorian, but in the meantime, please join us in the Facebook group. Come on and listen to the new episodes. We try to get them out every Friday morning, and we can't wait to keep talking Disney Plus with you guys.
That's right. See y'all real soon.